from the crossroads of the East and West, this is CivilNet's Daily News Digest for Wednesday, November 6th. I'm Paul Chadurjian.
And I'm Maria Titizian. In today's digest, donning Guy Fawkes disguises, activists gather at the opera as part of the anonymous Million Mask March.
Enter UCOM, Viva Cell, Orange, and Beeline will soon have a new competitor.
And Wings of Tatev enters a new exclusive international club. Find out what that means for the Ropeway.
Later, the hit song Safe and Sound, its message of hope, and the young man behind the words and notes. The World Council of Churches Assembly has just elected Karakin II, Catholicos and Supreme Patriarch of all Armenians, as the president of the Oriental Orthodox Church.
His Holiness was elected at the WCC's 10th Assembly in Busan, Korea. The WCC has 8 presidents whose mission is to promote interchurch and ecumenic relations and protect human rights, justice, and peace. The 8 newly elected presidents are strategically positioned to represent the different continents in the regions of the world. The highest governing body of the WCC meets every 7 years to promote prayer and celebration and to elect new presidents. The first assembly was held in 1948 and the last one was in Brazil in 2006. Following the election, a symbolic act of pouring water into a common vessel, which was carried out by Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, and Buddhist religious leaders, highlighted the importance of water in the world's biggest religious traditions.
The hacktivist group Anonymous gathered at Liberty Square last night as part of the worldwide Million Mask March. Explosions, smoke, tussles with police, and chaos. This was the scene in Freedom Square in downtown Yerevan on Tuesday, November 5th. More than 200 activists wearing the infamous Guy Fawkes or anonymous masks took to the streets. They were calling for a revolution on the day, November 5th, when protesters around the world took to the streets. Guy Fawkes Day. This year was part of the global anonymous Million Mask March organized to protest corrupt governments and greedy corporations. When protesters decided to start marching toward the presidential palace, more than 200 police and special forces, including the SWAT team, pushed them back. Some in the crowd set off crudely made explosives they brought with them, glass bottles filled with gasoline and pebbles. Amid the flames and smoke, police officers arrested more than 20 protesters. At times, it looked as if police outnumbered the protesters. Armenian police said they had stopped the protesters because their march and rally were illegal, and they announced they would condone no further illegal activity. It appeared that the protests centered around Shant Harchunian, a lone protester sitting in Freedom Square who for days has been repeating that somehow something must change.
Armenia will now have a 4th telecommunications operator in Armenia. The Public Services Regulatory Commission granted a license to UCOM to provide mobile connection services from November 2013 to August 2018. UCOM expects to launch the service in January of 2015. Under the license, the company will provide broadband wireless internet coverage in Yerevan and adjacent territories, as well as 80% of Armenian regions with the ability to offer mobile services. Telecommunications is one of the most competitive sectors in Armenia's economy. UCOM will now join Armentel or Beeline trademark, Viva Cell MTS, and Orange Armenia.
The OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs are in the region to meet with the presidents of Armenia and Azerbaijan regarding the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. After their meeting with Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev, the Russian co-chair Igor Popov said that Aliyev has agreed to meet with his Armenian counterpart by the end of the year. Popov also said that the co-chairs will discuss the issue with President Serge Sarkisyan and will issue a formal statement after their meeting with the Armenian president.
The Institute of Oriental Studies of the National Academy of Sciences of Armenia is holding an international conference today titled 90 Years of the Republic of Turkey from Ataturk to Erdogan. The conference will focus on the history of the Republic of Turkey, different aspects of its domestic and foreign policy. Both Armenian and foreign specialists are expected to participate in the conference.
Armenia's Wings of Tatev aerial tramway has just joined the International Organization for Transportation by Rope. The decision to accept Armenia was made by the managing board of the organization in Bolzano, Italy. Membership will mean Armenia will receive support in research and development and ropeway management. Inclusion will also allow the organization to help set standards for national ropeway regulators. Armenia will also be included in scheduled seminars and conferences for producers and operators of ropeways. The organization was set up in Milan in 1959, and it represents 22 nations with ropeways.
Since the beginning of the war in Syria, almost 10,000 Syrian Armenians have fled to Armenia. One of the most difficult issues with integration has been the language barrier. Thereby, the Ministry of Diaspora has just launched a program for free Eastern Armenian and Russian language courses for Syrian Armenians in cooperation with the UNHCR and teachers of Eastern Armenian and Russian members of the Center Coordinating the Issues of Syrian Armenians NGO and others. English language courses will also be offered in the near future. More than 100 Syrian Armenians have already registered for the courses. Now to a few comments we've received via our email address, english@civilnet.am.
Jack Yemenjian from Marianne's Mexican Restaurant in Fresno writes, I like the daily news digest from Armenia. Keep up the good work, Maria and Paul. Thank you, Jack.
And from Paul's previous place of residence, if you can believe it or not, it was Hawaii. Lucky guy. Eric Ataya Rupens with the Volvo Honolulu dealership writes, quote, great job, Paul and Maria. I would never have thought I'd be starting my mornings by watching a news digest from Armenia, even before checking my work emails. Being in the middle of the Pacific, it is a great way to receive balanced reporting without skewing the facts like it's done by most Armenian media. Bravo, guys. You should mention Honolulu in your forecast sometime. There are a few Armenians here. End of quote.
Okay, and as Eric requested, we're going to look at Hawaii weather in our forecast.
That's right. And the exchange rates are on the screen. And in Yerevan, today's high will reach 22 degrees Celsius.
The high will be 11 degrees in Gyumri.
In Stepanakert, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 15 Celsius.
And Eric, stay dry. It's going to rain in Honolulu if you don't know it already. The high will be a comfortable 29. In Fahrenheit, that's 84 degrees.
And you are listening to the original Hawaii Five-0 soundtrack. I hope you're enjoying it, Eric, and everybody else.
Good show.
That's for sure.
The 9th International Film Festival for Children and Young People took place this week in Yerevan.
Each year, the festival, organized by the Armenian Foundation for Promotion of Cinema and TV for Children and Young People Roland Baikov Foundation, organizes film screenings, roundtable discussions, film premieres, master classes, as well as interesting creative meetings. The events, organized within the framework of the festival, take place not only in Yerevan but in all of the regions of Armenia. 113 films from 34 countries will be screened throughout the festival. And finally, on Global Armenians this weekend, we will hear from Sebu Simonian.
Sebu and his band, Capital Cities, have been enjoying unparalleled success since the release of their debut album and this big hit. That's Sebu with the beard. The single has turned into a platinum record, climbing the charts worldwide. The duo has toured North and South America, Europe and Asia. Maybe they'll come to Armenia. Capital Cities has also earned an MTV Music Award for Best Visual Effects for the song Safe and Sound.
It's a simple song. It talks about, scenes of doomsday, the sky falling down, a tidal wave of mystery, a hurricane of frowns, being buried 6 feet underground. And yet, throughout all of this dark descriptions, there's optimism. We'll still be safe and sound. We'll be fine as long as we're together. So it's kind of a love song. It could be directed to a lover, a friend, humanity. It's about recognizing the dark side of life in order to appreciate the bright things in life.
Sebu's parents have been active in the Armenian community in Lebanon and then Southern California for decades. Sebu himself was involved in the Armenian youth organizations and in Armenian media. He began studying piano and voice at a young age and received a degree in music from California State University, Northridge. He formed his first band at the age of 15, then began producing music in his bedroom, and then at his own studio in Burbank. You can watch our entire interview this weekend on CivilNet.
And by the way, Sebu is going to join Paul and me at the ANCA Grassroots Conference over the Thanksgiving weekend in Los Angeles.
And that conference takes place the day after the Hayastan All Armenian Fund annual telethon, which is at Los Angeles as well.
That's right, and where Paul will be co-hosting. And that is a wrap for our digest for today, November the 6th.
See you tomorrow.